So I came across this video right here from this Lord Frogmire individual, and I came across this on the timeline. If I could just basically summarize this guy in like the one word, it's, maybe not one word, one sentence, shall we? Anti, probably woke grifter gamer type, right? Like, I've seen the video catalog. The stink of the sort of strange anti-woke grifter is entirely there, right? This guy, I believe, has earned the ire of the broader sort of Pokemon community, of which I would like to say I am, at least in some part, a part of, right? I do like playing a lot of Pokemon. And here's the thing specifically with this fucking take, right? Pokemon has become corporate slop and you're the pig. A problem here. First off, that's like literally every sort of like very, very big AAA sort of game studio in a fucking nutshell. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Yeah, it's all fucking corporate slop. Like, no fucking shit. Hello? Welcome to the current iteration of late stage capitalism that we find ourselves under. Thank you very much for, stating the extremely fucking obvious, Captain Obvious over here. Most of the problems that people have with Pokemon specifically is because of, first off, Nintendo constantly raising the price tags of all fucking video games. Yeah, they're a bastard company and they do bastard things, right? In the before times, it was EA who was doing this, and then it was Bethesda who was doing all this stuff. Now everyone's deciding to turn their ire onto, well, Pokemon and Nintendo in particular. Yeah, like you're saying, Alex, like, people are too absorbed by their hobbies to see the broader, bigger picture. If it wasn't Nintendo, it would have been someone else. It would have been fucking Microsoft, or it would have been Activision Blizzard who has done this shit, right? Again, who is the one who probably bought into and did the sort of general trend of loot boxes? Oh, that was fucking Blizzard that did that, okay? So if we want to talk about Pokemon being corporate slop, then you have to talk about every other fucking AAA company that has made every fucking game corporate fucking slop. Period. End of story. And the problem is it's with capitalism, with more and more funding and, well, more and more money having to be funneled up to all these executive dipshits and fucking shareholders that don't have any say in any of the input of the creative decisions being made into a video game. That makes it such that they just want to pump out as many products that makes as much money as fucking possible. And the problem is with the current economic system. Stupid. I don't know. Like, I'm expecting like nothing but a bunch of like idiotic nonsense from this probable like anti-woke dipshit, from the sort of vibe that I've gotten from here. Why don't we take a look?
I'm truly baffled with how low the bar is for Pokemon. Despite this latest direct being nothing but a series of advertisements for things we already knew to exist, concluding with a small teaser for Gen 10 where the only thing we learn is the starters, I still can't say I'm disappointed.
Okay. Yes, he does sound very soy. I've watched like the first 10 seconds of this video. Okay, first off, welcome to Pokemon Directs. That's been every fucking Pokemon Direct. Like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, doi? Thank you for pointing out the obvious again, Captain fucking goddamn Obvious. I will admit, yeah, sure, like, I was not particularly happy with the Pokemon Direct for the 30-year anniversary. But then again, that's because I have particular expectations for what I want to see in the Direct. Most of the products that are being advertised within the Direct don't really appeal to me all that much, right? Like, they had stuff for the Pokemon Cafe gacha game, for the gacha game itself, for the, and this is like consistent with every fucking Pokemon Direct, they have stuff in terms of the TCG, they have stuff in terms of the games. Obviously, there wasn't really much that they wanted to go into. They just displayed the fucking starters. Okay, cool, whatever. Like, I don't really give much of a shit at all in terms of a lot of these sort of other products that they're generally speaking sort of talking about. I care more about champions, which is what I was mostly looking for in terms of information there, and also about Gen 10 specifically, which I can say, there wasn't really much there. That's kind of shitty, kind of annoying. Whatever, it's about what I expected, because I suppose, general sort of quality of the, maybe not like the general sort of quality for all of these like trailers has been going down. I don't think I would necessarily agree with that 100%, but Pokemon is more than likely very, very wary of all, like, because they know of the fucking Terra leak, which is what this guy is probably fucking referring to. More than likely aware of the fucking Terra leak in particular, and it's, well, they are not wanting to show as much fucking information. Which, I mean, it's supposed to be the 30th anniversary. They probably should show more stuff, but this is, like, again, pretty fucking in line with most Pokemon trailers, because, again, what they're probably more focused on right now is Pokemon Champions. Pokemon Champions is slated to release within April, which is the more important information that I wanted to know from that trailer, or from that particular direct. And it's essentially being used as a transitionary step because they want people to participate with Pokemon Champions, because the current life cycle of the current generation game is going on its 4th year, which is not unheard of, but it is very, very uncommon. Most Pokemon games, generations, last only about 3 years at a time. 4 years, like Scarlet and Violet has been lasted, for how long Scarlet and Violet has generally been in the main Pokemon generation 4, is abnormal. It's not going to be typically that long. But it's mostly because the reasoning for that is because of the 30-year anniversary and yada, yada, yada. The timing just kind of worked out in that sort of way. It is what it is. Also, the release of the new Switch is also a factor that played into this as well. So, a bunch of things coalesced into, well, the Gen 9 lasting way longer than it normally would. Everyone knew that Gen 10 was going to be talked about at the Pokemon Direct. Everybody fucking knew that, okay? That was going to happen. The question is what were they willing to talk about? And they just basically only had the starters and a look at the region and, like, little Easter eggs that you can pick out and sort of talk about and cause people to sort of, like, talk and speculate and stuff and generate hype. That's kind of the point of a trailer, Frogmire. That's what it's supposed to do. And, yeah, was there not that much information in a lot of these trailers in this, like, overall direct? Yeah, sure, but here's the thing. This is just Pokemon Directs in a nutshell. They're going to talk about, like a ton of different fucking products for differing games that they advertise, because Pokemon has a ton of different games, and it's going to, well, you know, they're going to talk about all of those, like, different products. That's how it fucking works.
Be disappointed, you have to have expectations. And at this point, it's a fool's errand to have any expectations for Pokemon. Any at all. To be honest, I was hoping for something worse. Something extreme, a true slap in the face. But in order to present something bad, you would have to present something at all. Despite this being a Pokemon Presents, we're presented with nothing. Just updates for phone games that always get updated, so it's not news. I'm not sure if people forgot, or maybe they're just too young, but there was a time where you could get excited for things. Where game companies would save all of their biggest announcements for one point, so that they could have a truly incredible showcase. There used to be E3.
Wait, so is the argument then that a new generation is not the biggest fucking announcement? Like, okay, like, brother, is it the Pokemon Company's fault in particular, or Game Freak's fault in particular, that there was a gigantic fucking leak of their servers? Like, not necessarily. Like, what the fuck do you mean? I don't really understand what we're complaining about here exactly. Like, yeah, the Terra leak happened, and then all this info came out. It used to be way harder to get fucking leaks like that, because not everything was as online as it was, like, 20 years ago. Like, that's just how it is. Like, I don't really see what the problem here is. Like, here's the thing. I looked at all the leaks, mostly because I want to know... I want to know the stuff that's coming, because I care about competitive. That's what I primarily care about the most, right? And we knew just really the only stuff in the Terra leak about Gen 10 is that it was going to be presented on Pokemon Day, and that's, like, obvious, honestly. Like, I don't think you would have needed the Terra leak in order to just come to that sort of conclusion by yourself, because it's the 30-year anniversary. Like, duh? Okay? Huh? Also, this dude's like conflating a bunch of stuff from Nintendo and also Pokemon. Pokemon Directs are separate from Nintendo Directs. They do their own separate sort of thing. If there's a Nintendo Direct and there's Pokemon stuff that's going to be presented there, then there's going to be stuff that's presented in the Nintendo Direct based with like a little segment for fucking Pokemon. That's generally how it works. But the Pokemon Company works with Nintendo. Game Freak works with the Pokemon Company. That's generally speaking how it kind of works. So it's all, again, like their own sort of like thing. That's how it generally speaking works. It's a symbiotic relationship. But I guess Frogmire here doesn't really seem to understand that for some reason.
Where every game company announced all of their biggest games at the same time. But the marketing cycle has changed because the people who like that kind of stuff have souls, and the soul lists have taken over everything. Instead, it's about drip feeding you as little information as possible, as long as possible. And people eat this up. I don't know how. I don't know how anyone can get excited over nothing, but they can. Happens every day. I have to imagine it's because people don't actually care what they're buying. I mean, Pokemon Legends ZA, I'm sure, sold.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, different strokes for different folks. I mean, there was plenty of stuff in there. It just didn't appeal to you. Okay. Oh no. Like, I myself was not particularly, like, satisfied with the information that came out. I was just like, okay, I mean, it was pretty light. There wasn't much there. Because, I mean, I got, like, what I wanted out of the Champion stuff, and that was mostly just a release date. The bigger problem with Champions is that I think there's, like, a pretty good Pokemon MD video on this, talking about how it could potentially be pay to win, because here's the thing with a lot of this stuff. The directs are like a big overall like marketing push / like hype sort of trailer sort of thing. You typically have to go to the website itself in order to get more information. Now, does Frogmire know that you have to typically go to the Pokemon, website in order to be able to get more info talking about, Pokemon information? Based off of what he is saying here, I am likely to assume no, he did not do that specifically. Because there's a reason why the Poketubers, for example, your Shofus, your Pokemon MDs, even Blunder, for example, will although like Blunder doesn't really give much of a shit about that, but whatever, I digress. He's just one of the two Poketubers that I know of. There's a reason why they always go to the Pokemon Company's website in order to get additional information, because very often they will have sometimes some additional tidbits of information, additional sort of context clues based off of what they showed in a Pokemon Direct. Did Frogmire do that? So far, I'm leaning towards saying no.
Plenty well when the budget of the game was less than they spent on a Super Bowl commercial. If you really need an example of how corporate Pokemon has become, it's not that they spend more money on advertising than they do on the product. It's that they spend more money on one singular ad than they do on the product. Isn't that incredible? And it's the same people.
So this is the same thing that all these anti-woke dipshits, broadly speaking, complain about fucking constantly. Oh, look at how much is being spent on fucking marketing for a fucking product rather than developing the game. Dumbass. I know that you don't understand seemingly how the capitalism or the economy seemingly works, but in order for a game to sell, you need to advertise that game and market that game in order for the game to be able to sell well. That's how it works in the current capitalist paradigm that we find ourselves under. Doi obvious. I feel like we're going to have to be constantly explaining how the current economic system works to people like this over and over and over again if they want to get it through their thick skulls so they can understand, like, yeah, you have to spend money in order to advertise the game to people so then they go out and buy the game. That's how marketing works. Very cool, very good. That doesn't necessarily mean that the development is terrible because of all that money that's being spent on development, although this has been an issue in the past for Game Freak specifically, where they have a lot less money than they normally would in their budgets allocated to them by both Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, because they have basically no access to any of the merchandising sales, and guess what makes most of the money for Pokemon? Merchandising. That's what makes most of the money. The games, those are like tertiary. What they care more about is merchandising. And also TCG. Those also sell way more in comparison to the games. Why? Because, everyone wants to open up packs constantly in order to do their content creation videos and shit like that. It's a very, very common thing that happens. Very, very fucking often. And those are the cash cows, which means they're going to invest more money in the fucking cash cows, which make more money. Games and shows very often are vehicles to sell merchandising. That has pretty much been the case ever since, well, I was fucking born. Or honestly, ever since the advent of network fucking television.
Who complain about capitalism and we need to do communism.
Hey.
Those guys are the ones who defend Pokemon. Pokemon recently announced they're re-releasing Fire.
Yeah, he just. Am I in his head? I'm in his head. 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 I'm in his head.
Red and Leaf Green. That Gen 1 cow still hasn't been milked to dry. And no, of course it's not part of the Nintendo Online free games. No, it's $20 a piece. $20 for a game that came out 20 years ago and you can play it for free on your phone at any time. People defend this price, of course. Why wouldn't they? The billion-dollar company needs more money.
First off, like, who the fuck is defending the price? Who defended the price of any of this stuff? I have no idea what the fuck this guy is talking about. Very often, dumbasses like this will just, like, attribute people defending certain things that people are not actually defending whatsoever. Like, who the fuck is defending the fact that the remake of the nostalgic cuckbait game of Fire Red and Leaf Green is fucking $20? Who did that? I would like to see some fucking examples, but knowing someone like this, he definitely is not going to provide any examples whatsoever. Like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't believe you.
Well, in case you don't understand why people have a problem with this, let me explain it for you. There's a term for a product that's useless but claims to solve a problem. It's called snake oil. I would say, give me $20 and I'll give you this mixture that if you drink, you'll...
Wait, is the argument that Fire Red and Leaf Green, it's snake oil? What? Okay, dude.
Lose weight, but in reality it does nothing. It is just water from my sink. Even back in the day when this was a real thing that happened, it was incredibly obvious that it was fake, and only the dumb would purchase such a product. Yet snake oil salesman is still an insult. They're still known as bad people, and we still hate them. Even if we're not dumb enough to fall for it, it is seen as morally reprehensible to take advantage of the stupid. Spending $20 on a 20-year-old game with no changes, no improvements, that you could play for free in better quality with all the capabilities of modern emulation is really dumb, and people with better morals than me get fairly angry when you take advantage of people this dumb. Now, personally,
I don't understand what's the fucking argument here? Like, I'm so fucking confused. Like, I'm just, like, he's just rambling here about, like, I can't believe that people are so stupid to want to buy this product for being complete idiots and dunce caps. It's like, okay, man, like, people like Gen 1, and really the only reason why I think you can justify the purchase of Fire Red and Leaf Green is probably because of the birth... Okay, Pokemon nerd here, okay, would be, first off, yeah, like Boy Meets Minnie is saying here, nostalgia cuckoldry, right? The very fascistic tendency of nostalgia cuckoldry. But the only reason that I can potentially think of for a justification of this purchase is just for the fact that the Deoxys event, right? That's like the only thing I can think of. Being able to have access to the Deoxys event is probably the only reason why I would ever fucking purchase this. Otherwise, I don't really care, honestly. I still have my old cartridge of Fire Red as well. I could probably find it somewhere. I have a Game Boy as well. I could fucking play it at any point in time. It's not really much I can do because I've beaten the game, obviously. And, there's really not much I can do in the game. Like, I don't really care. If people want an opportunity to be able to get an official product of Fire Red and Leaf Green, that's up to them. And, the Soulless Company is looking to monetize that nostalgia cuckoldry and that baiting? Like, I'm so fucking totally shocked. Who would have thought that the Soulless Corporation would fucking do that? Exactly. Whoa, shocker. Also, you have to, like, consider it this way. What do you think is the likelihood? Because, again, we are dealing with one of these, like, anti-woke fucking slop tubers over here. What do you think is the likelihood that even if they were to make any changes to Fire Red and Leaf Green, that he would get fucking pissed about it. I'm just saying. The problem is that you're just looking for something to be upset about. That's the argument here, right? You're not actually interested in providing any, like, principled fucking critique here about the problems of capitalism, with the problems of the games industry, with AAA game studios in general. You're just looking to have an axe to grind. That's literally it.
I don't care. I think if you're willing to buy it, you probably don't deserve the money in the first place. So that's why I didn't really make a video at the time. But I think the point is the Pokemon Company could diarrhea straight into the hands of the consumers, and they would lap it up and ask for more. So no wonder the presentation wasn't particularly exciting. Pokemon doesn't have to do anything exciting. Why put any more effort in than is necessary? It's just not that kind of company anymore, and it hasn't been for a very long time. I've gone off the rails long enough, though. It's time to talk about what's actually in the presentation. A presentation so unremarkable that it's remarkable. The presentation began with a Pokemon-themed music player. Music player might be a little bit generous here, though. It doesn't play any music, doesn't even play just Pokemon music. It can only...
Is he just gonna complain about the fucking direct? Jesus, man. I mean, I knew that this video was probably gonna be, like, just the massive fucking slop, but... Ugh. I don't know, man. Different strokes for different fucking folks. Listen, if you want a fucking Game Boy Color-themed music player, I don't really give much of a shit at all. Like... People are going to make decisions that they want to make if they feel like making decisions with their money, and they want to buy a product. They can just buy a product. Who gives a shit? Whatever. The fact that the option is out there is I really don't have much of a problem with that. But then again, we are talking about an anti-woke like slop tuber, right? And these people seemingly hate, for whatever reason, people being able to make free expressions of will. That's really, really fucking about it. Like, it's stupid, it's dumb. And yeah, like, internet and Pokemon Home functionality for Fire Red and Leaf Green, that's a great point there, Alex. I should have fucking brought that up as well. Is also another reason why it's like, oh, okay, cool. We have extended sort of functionalities that are very, very nice to have for an old game like this to be brought into the modern sort of fucking network of Pokemon games, right? Like, $20, I mean, given the fact that the current standard of games that was set by Nintendo is currently like $80 USD, and most games, well, I'm Canadian, are now going to be about $95 to $100, is the bigger fucking problem. And I mean, if someone wants to pay $20 for the Fire Red and Leaf Green, then they can, and it'll have official home support. It's very easily integrated, because guess what? If you want to fucking bring anything from those emulated games, guess what? That's not fucking happening. Any of your Pokemon from there that you spent a long time, perhaps training, catching, breeding, or whatever, you're not bringing that shit over. That's not how that fucking works. As soon as you beat the game of an emulated game, you're done with it, and you probably start a new one, or you move on to the next game. Right? That's how it works. These have more staying power. You have integration with different internet and Pokemon Home functionalities, which did not exist before for a lot of these older games. That's another sort of aspect of value in particular.
Play specifically music from Red and Blue in the original Game Boy sound font, with 45 songs each on an individual cartridge. You cannot lie to me and pretend like anyone's going to use this. Oh, they're gonna buy it. We all know they're gonna buy it. I get it's like a gizmo, a gadget, a gag, a gift of some kind, but this is comically non-functional. What, you're gonna put in the one song?
People just like collecting things, man. People like to collect. People have giant, like, memorabilia sort of chests and whatnot, and maybe like shrines or whatever. People like collecting things. It is what it is. Like, for example, like, I don't like secret layers from Magic the Gathering in particular. I've gotten a couple of secret layers, mostly the Warhammer stuff and a couple of other stuff that I was like interested in, because I was just like, I really like this particular secret layer. And some people are just whales who are collectors and just want to fucking collect a bunch of stuff. That's just kind of how it is. Yeah, exactly, Boy Meets Mini. Like, I, too, would also just want to, I don't know, scream at someone like this and just say, you're not any fun. Like, people want to have day fun, they can have day fun. You're just looking for... I think I'm going to be constantly repeating this point over and over and over again. You're just looking for an axe to grind.
you like, hold it up to your ear for 30 seconds, and then switch out another cartridge to do it again? You're gonna get, what, 5 minutes at most of entertainment out of this before you stick it in a corner never to look at it again? This is how we open the presentation. How you know it's gonna be good. How you know the future of Pokemon, the 30th anniversary, is gonna be huge. And as you know, you're always supposed to begin and end any presentation with your biggest and best news. And I think they chose correctly.
Wait, why? Why does that have to be the case? You don't know that, right? You have no fucking idea. Why do you always have to begin with, like, the biggest, best news possible? That doesn't necessarily have to be the case, right? Like, it just depends on the fucking format. It depends on the creative process that's put into creating a fucking presentation, right? Like, generally speaking, yeah, like, oh, yeah, it's best to get the attention of people than get through the fucking, well, slop and whatnot while the people have their attention and keep them in anticipation for the end bit. Yeah, sure. But that doesn't always necessarily have to be the case.
Because it's only downhill from here. Next is the announcement of the Pokemon competitive scene. Ooh, a game so bad they have to pay you to play it. And I don't mean regular competitive Pokemon. Singles is actually pretty fun, but doubles is miserable. You ever wonder why, despite being the official competitive format, supported with huge events and prizing, isn't in the video games? There are only a handful...
Who wants to make a... Well, okay, first off, this guy has no idea about any of the history of fucking Smogon. Competitive singles, existed for much, much longer in comparison to that of the official competitive format. I guess, okay, if we want to really, really, really go back, there was, technically speaking, official tournaments held all the way back in, was it like 2003? I forget the name of the Pokemon, I forget the name of the fucking tournament, but there was official tournaments back even all the way then, during Gen 3's era. And it too was also doubles. But the reason for that, specifically for why it's always been doubles and kept as doubles ever since, is because the first official tournaments were during Gen 3. What came out during Gen 3? Double battles. And they wanted to they were pushing to advertise for double battles really, really hard. There were 2 spin-off games, XD, Gale of Darkness, and Colosseum, broadly regarded as some of the best Pokemon games ever fucking created by Genius Sorority, and it is prominently fucking double battles. Period, end of story. It's all double battles. And those are regarded as the best games in the fucking series, or some of the best games. I think they're some of the best games in the fucking series, and they're spin-offs. Mostly because of a lot of complicated reasonings for as to why I regard them as the best, and other people also regard them as the best, but I digress. And it's also from a console that was seen as a failure for Nintendo, especially within the West, that being the GameCube, right? And Gale of Darkness and, Gale of Darkness certainly withstood the test of time, even Colosseum to a certain extent. But that's why they made it such that doubles is now their official fucking format. Because of Gen 3 introducing it, and they wanted to really hardcore push for doubles, and then they decided to stick that with their original sort of format. Now they're never going to really do singles, except like give nods to mostly the Smogon crowd, because they know of the existence of fucking Smogon in the singles fucking crowd. They're aware. They are very, very aware. They'll give nods to them. Occasionally, right? Like, in terms of some of the balance changes that they make. They will. They care about that environment as well. But they basically have said, like, listen, we just want to focus on our own thing. We want to just do our doubles format, our official format that we have basically created for this in particular. And that's about it. Smogon will do its own Smogon thing, a community sort of oriented, competitive scene. There we go, that's the word I was looking for. Where they just do their own thing, and Pokemon just wants to do its own official format instead. And that's, like, totally fine, and they can exist symbiotically. Again, different strokes for different folks. Like, if they want to be able to have a doubles format, which, again, I don't know why this guy's shitting on doubles so much. There's a lot of interesting moves and interactions that you can do in doubles that you can't really do in singles. But I digress. I'm not really a big doubles player. I like singles more, right? When I like playing Smogon competitive, obviously, in comparison to that of the official format. But there's merits to also having the official format be in existence, right? And also, like, it being a sort of like valued sort of addition to the broader sort of general community. Because I mean, like, Pokemon is a giant game with trillions, if not quadrillions, of interactions, and people are just going to experiment and just do random fucking shit, and if they make an interesting moment out of it, then that is great. And I mean, that's been this sort of stated goal of the Pokemon Company, I think, ever since its advent. So, again, like, I don't know why he's complaining about doubles within Gen 9 when Gen 9 has probably been the most supportive competitive generation, ever, right? Power creep in terms of the quality of Pokemon that have been put out in this generation are on another fucking level. I can point to so many different Paldean Pokemon that have either been A, banned, or B, are very, very good in the standard tier of play of OU within Smogon. Your Golden Goes, Iron Valiants, all the Paradoxes that have been banned, Palafin, which has been banned, Annihilate, which has been banned. I could keep going. There's so many good fucking Pokemon in this generation because they decided to go more in on the competitive side rather, and also supported it significantly and made it such that it's more accessible than ever for people to be able to participate in the competitive aspect, which Pokemon is now recognizing as that being probably the biggest draw possible into Pokemon now. Again, people like Wolfie VGC, who is a huge content creator, has probably been like, I don't know, carrying like the official competitive like format of VGC on his fucking back, and he is very, very fucking popular.
Full of double battles in the entire Pokemon series, and it's because they suck. The only reason it's the competitive format to begin with is because it's faster. You can't hold a tournament where 2 stall teams can get to turn 176 and the tournament ends 5 weeks later. It's just not possible. And don't get me started on the Pokemon card game. I think
that's also not false.
Despite being the most popular card game on the planet, nobody knows how to play it because it's a bad game. Speaking of the card game, next they announce something for the Pokemon.
From what I understand, okay, the Pokemon card game, you'll have like a bench. You'll have 6 cards that are prize cards, and based on which like EX Pokemon you KO, you get a certain amount of prize cards. You collect all the prize cards of the opponent, you win, right? Or if you deck out. I don't know if decking out is a thing within Pokemon TCG, but basically you send out a Pokemon and you keep mulliganing hands until you can send out a Pokemon, and then you can put Pokemon on your bench, which is your quote-unquote party, right? Like in the main series games, and you can put energy and on Pokemon in order to be able to give them that energy so they can start attacking or be switched out for a different Pokemon. And you can also evolve Pokemon as well. Like, that's really, really about it. If you use up your deck, you lose. Okay, so you can deck out. Thank you, Alex.
Pokemon card game. Yes, something. The bar is so low, people are excited for nothing. We don't even know what it is. They don't say what they're announcing. It has a worldwide release. Is that news? I don't think so.
Wait, isn't that like isn't this for the fucking mobile game?
We don't even know what it is. They don't say what they're announcing. It has a worldwide.
Okay, he's kind of lying here. He's actually kind of lying here. This is about the TCG card game, like the trading card game on phones, right? On mobile, right? That they put up. Yeah, they're probably announcing a new pack, and they're going to release a new pack in 2026. Like, that's like literally it. Okay, whatever.
Worldwide release? Is that news? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's always been worldwide. Is it just a new pack? If it is, why not just say that? Do you see what I'm saying now, where I want to be disappointed, but there's nothing to even be disappointed in? You announce something bad.
Well, okay. He's been saying this consistently, which is, again, very emblematic for the main problem with this fucking video, is you're looking for an axe to grind. Which, I mean, okay, you know what? We're gonna take a quick look at the fucking catalog, because I'm having the feeling that this guy's whole sort of shtick is that he basically wants to have a fucking axe to grind. Like, that's literally about it. Why is he saying that Chinese game? Okay, China #1. Let me guess, it's because a bunch of big booby anime women or something. I'm just gonna fucking throw that out there, right? I'm guessing if I were to take a look at all of these fucking videos, And so far, yes, my fucking assessment is definitely correct. This guy just puts out a bunch of anti-woke fucking slop, where basically he just has an axe to fucking grind. Like, that's literally it. He just wants to be... He's mad and just wants to be fucking mad, because he sees that as a, well, broader way to be able to cultivate a fucking audience, right? He's a dude who just wants to be mad and just wants to get a fucking audience. That's like literally about it.
You have to at least announce something. You can't just say something may be happening, maybe coming soon, 2026, TM, Mewtwo. I get I'm overreacting a little bit, but come on. Someone else has to realize how ridiculous this is. I don't even care about Pokemon cards. The weird thing is that they also don't care. After that, we get 6 mobile game announcements in a row. 6! Just updates to all of their existing mobile games. You know, I think someone made a video reviewing all the Pokemon mobile games. I wonder how bad they are. Pokemon XD is announced, coming to Nintendo Online. Impossible for Fire Red and Leaf Green, but at least we get XD, the superior game. Although, if you're gonna replay, I would suggest playing Pokemon XD DX, a ROM hack that adds a bunch of new Shadow Pokemon, new abilities, great time.
Okay, I don't really know, like, why the fuck are you, like, complaining about all this stuff? Like, I just don't understand. What's the point of fucking complaining like this? Yeah, XD, XDDD, you know.
Though you have to emulate it for free. Oh no! How will you sleep at night? Next, we get reminded of the Fire Red Leaf Green, $20. This isn't an announcement, it's just an advertisement we're willingly watching because we're dumb. They make sure to remind you the big selling point, though, that your Pokemon can be transferred from Fire Red and Leaf Green into Pokemon Home.
Well, this is the, I mean, yeah, because this is the actual fucking value of bringing Fire Red and Leaf Green over to the main Switch platforms, is the fact that you can now connect it overall to Home. And also link it to Pokemon Champions if you want. Like, that's the actual value there, Frogmire. Like, do you not know about this? I feel like this guy has not really engaged all that much with a lot of fucking Pokemon media if he didn't fucking understand any of this. It's very stupid.
Premium subscription service that you would have to pay for Nintendo Online to use. Nintendo's premium subscription service. Also, you can get your guys into Pokemon Champions. I can't wait for it to be mandatory to make a competitive team to buy Fire Red Leaf Green, train them in that game, buy Pokemon Online, buy Nintendo Online, transfer them over, all just to bully small children in a baby game over the internet. We get a small trailer for Pokemon Champions.
Why the okay, hello? It's fucking Pokemon. Yeah, that's kind of the point. Yeah, you go online, you play competitive Pokemon. That's the point of Pokemon Champions. It's meant to be a platform that is similar to their version of Smoke. Yeah, it's kind of the point, dumbass. So then, what? Like, why are you complaining about it? I just don't understand. Why are you fucking complaining about it? Like, I don't get it. Yeah, this is going to appeal to more competitive fucking people. Also, like, by the way, there's a lot of really good fucking kids who play this fucking game, okay? Like, VGC in juniors is also a thing that also exists in the Pokemon World Championship, right? A lot of these fucking kids are very, very good at this game and put in a lot of time and effort to be able to get good at this game. It's a talent that you can hone and work on if you fucking put in the time and effort. That's how it works. Just because you're a fucking kid doesn't mean you don't have the ability to be able to express that fucking talent. But I don't know, like, are most kids just going to get completely dumpster fired on? Maybe. I have no fucking idea. Like, because it's a game that has a laddering system where you just go up against random fucking opponents. This is how it is. There's no, like, age brackets for any of this stuff unless they put in a juniors, a seniors, and a masters, I think, is the 3 official, like, brackets for the Pokemon World Championship. I don't 100% remember for certain, but I mean, unless they do that for some reason. But then you'd need age verification on a Pokemon game. That seems kind of weird as well, and you probably would have a problem with that as well. You see, you kind of see what I'm basically getting at here. This dude is just trying to basically come up with, like, literally any excuse possible just to be fucking mad. It's like, again, like, if you don't want to fucking engage, why be mad? Oh, because you need to make a fucking YouTube video about this. That's why.
Except it's not really a trailer. It's more like an ad where it shows a bunch of actors pretending to be excited about something. The real information you actually learn outside
Welcome to
of the
marketing.
presentation in the supplementary material. And I'm sure everyone expects me to be all upset because their new mobile game, which is supposed to be the premier way to play Pokemon multiplayer from now on, is riddled with multiple currencies, battle passes, a premium subscription. Pokemon are incredibly difficult to obtain. In fact, they're obtained randomly. Yes, you spend your in-game currency on a random selection of Pokemon. In a competitive game, you cannot choose the Pokemon you use. That is, unless you use Pokemon Home and just use your own Pokemon. Hence why I'm not upset. Of course they were going to make you use Pokemon Home. Of course the game was never going to be free to play. You should have known this. Everyone should have known this. Honestly, you should be happy you have.
Hey, dumbass. Welcome to AAA fucking game studios. Of course it was never going to be fucking free. Like, duh. Everything is for fucking profit. Welcome to the hyper commodified system that we currently find ourselves on. I don't know, dude. Welcome to hyper commodification under capitalism, my man. This is what it fucking looks like. Everything is monetized to shit. Guess who basically created the fucking or allowed for the advent of battle passes to be made? Oh, those fucking gotcha games that you probably simp for on your fucking channel where you say that they're based. They opened up the avenue for fucking battle passes. So why are you so upset about fucking Pokemon having the same thing? Yeah, I hate battle passes and shit like that. But I'm going to be looking at the bigger picture when it comes to a lot of issues that I'm going to be expressing, because there are bigger issues to look at, and you're just looking for something to just have a fucking gripe over. That's literally it.
Have that option. It could have been much worse. They could have made you use premium currency to use your own Pokemon. That's what I expected. Right now, people think, the optimal way to play is you have to pay for 3 subscriptions, Nintendo Online, Pokemon Home, and this new Pokemon Champion subscription, but that's not worth it. There's not really any reason to do that, because the Pokemon Champion subscription just gives you in-game currency stuff, which you don't need if you're using Pokemon Home. Except I tricked you, I fooled you. Of course it can't be that good. Of course it can't be generous in even the most minute way, because Pokemon Home does not let you transfer Mega Stones. You know, Mega Evolution, the big thing of Pokemon ZA, what everyone's super excited about, what are insanely OP in a competitive game, they would be mandatory, and it is confirmed that Emborite...
Okay, this is how you know this guy does not fucking play Pokemon. No, that's not how that works. Most of the new, first off, we don't really know. Yeah, this guy is a tourist. First off, for most of the new megas, we don't know what their abilities are. Based off of the leaks, we know 3 of them for certain, and one we can make a very, very educated guess. So for Mega Delphox, it's going to have Levitate, which I'm slightly disappointed about, but still Levitate's pretty good for Delphox, so I'm not going to be particularly upset, because it's still going to be a very, very strong Charizard Y-esque special attacker that's faster. Much faster, with Nasty Plot as well. So it's still going to be good. Greninja's going to have Protein. Going to be interesting to see how the interaction works. If you can, use an attack in base form with Protein, and then switch when you Mega, and you can use a Protein boosted attack again. Very interested to see how that interaction plays out, and also how it works with Battle Bond, which will probably be broken, but I digress. And Chestnut's going to have Bulletproof. And the thing is that we don't, Megas can quote-unquote be, just to say, Bulletproof also is a pretty solid ability. Good ability. I would have preferred Stamina on Chestnut, but Bulletproof is still good as well. The thing is, with a lot of teams with Pokemon, you don't always have to run a fucking Mega. Not always. The problem becomes, it just depends on what the construction of the team does and how it works. Some teams just don't have Megas. If you go to, a NatDex OU team, sometimes you'll just find a team with no Megas, right? Sometimes you'll find a team with no Z moves or Z crystals, right? I believe Terra's been banned. Same with Dynamax, because they're broken. The thing specifically is, if you are constructing a team, you don't necessarily know how exactly you want to construct the exact sort of formula for your team for it to be successful in terms of, what you want it to accomplish, in terms of what you want it to do. An example, you want a hyper offense team, you just want to basically stack in a suicide lead with a bunch of setup sweepers, and you just want to go, be very aggressive, and just overwhelm your opponent with a bunch of offense. So long as you have the setup sweepers, you don't necessarily always need a Mega in order to be able to pull that off. Period, end of story. There's plenty of very strong, very offensive Pokemon that can just beat someone down in order to just win the fucking game. You don't always need a Mega in order to be able to do that. It just depends on the team, right? And we're gonna complain about fucking Emboar? Dog, Emboar is fucking pretty dog shit. Oh, and the other Pokemon that we can speculate its ability is Mega Starmie. We can assume that Mega Starmie is probably gonna have Pure Power, right? And it's gonna be Fastest pure power Pokemon in the game, which I think is going to be an interesting niche, because it was Medicham in the past, and now it's going to be fucking Starmie with its 120 base speed. I'm just going to rewind a little bit because I want to hear the bit with Embor.
You know, Mega Evolution, the big thing of Pokemon ZA, what everyone's super excited about, were insanely OP in a competitive game. They would be mandatory, and it is confirmed that Emborite, that's 1 Megastone at the very least, is on the paid track of the Battle Pass. So you do, in fact...
I'm going to be quite honest. If you know anything about competitive Pokemon, no one's going to give a shit about this. Embor is pretty fucking bad as a Mega. I'm going to be quite honest. I'm not going to shed a tear over that one.
In order to play competitively, have to pay for Pokemon Home, Nintendo Online, and this new Pokemon Champions premium subscription thing. And this is only what we know now. The game hasn't even come out yet. Mobile games are known for charging...
Yeah, the subscription thing, again, like, that's the bigger problem here, obviously. Like, I mean, I've put in the time and effort in order to breed a bunch of fucking Pokemon. I'm pretty much ready and raring to go. I also have my old 3DS. I can pretty much gen anything from Gen 1 through 7 and just transfer it up. I made sure to keep my fucking Pokemon bank. I still have my account and everything, even through the shutting down of Pokemon Bank. So I'm pretty much good to go. Like, I don't really give much of a shit. But that's because I decided to put in the time and effort for all of this, right? Like, that's me doing that. You don't seem very interested in being able to do any of that because, unfortunately, we kind of live in a society where everything is supposed to be, like, instantaneous sort of, like, gratification in terms of being able to get some form of, like, beneficial outcome for yourself. If you know anything about Pokemon, tedium has always been the main sort of case. If you wanted to build, like, a successful competitive team back in the fucking day, the amount of, like, RNG manipulation that you would have to know in order to be able to get the respective IVs, natures, and even, like, items that you're looking for was extreme. And you want to, like, complain about fucking tedium? That's fucking tedium. The barrier to entry. There is still a bit of a barrier to entry, absolutely, for certain specific sets in Pokemon, blah, 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 blah. But the barrier to entry has been significantly reduced. Significantly fucking reduced in comparison to what it was, like, I would even say, like, back during Sword and Shield as well. Like, competitive items to get competitive items in Sword and Shield, even that was a fucking grind. It would take a very fucking long time. It was better in certain respects because it's very easy to cheese infinite money in Sword and Shield, but even in Sword and Shield, it would take a fucking while in order to be able to build a competitive team. And again, that's always been Pokemon ever since, well, 3 years ago. It's always taken a very, very long time to be able to construct your, well, ideal sort of team.
You every dollar they possibly can, so I'm sure it gets worse, not better. And this is how you have to play competitive Pokemon now. You have no other option. Official option, that is. I guess they figured they had milked the casual fans plenty, and it was time to start milking the competitive fans. We'll see who's willing to pay more. Lonely losers who scalp children, or competitive Teasmos with no soul. Doesn't really matter, because in the end, we all lose. Next, we have an advertisement.
I mean, I don't, like, again, this buddy, if you know anything about Pokemon, this has always been Pokemon in a nutshell. Period. End of. Welcome to Pokemon, Bubby. Like, say hello, say hi. This has been Pokemon for years.
For the Legends ZA DLC. Hey, I wonder if someone made a video on that. I hear the game's really, really bad. I know someone's gonna seethe about me calling these advertisements. They're gonna be like, oh, every presentation's an advertisement. But there's a distinct difference. These are supposed to be a look toward the future. Some exciting things are coming out. I call this an ad because the DLC already exists. It's already been released, and for those who played it, we already know it's bad. I don't need to hear about it anymore. If we could all forget it exists, it'd be a better world. Now this, I would call an announcement, not an advertisement. It's a new trailer, for sure, a game that we already know exists, but it gives us some new information. At the very least, the game hasn't been released yet. Now the new info, it's not great. It's the idea that music will be in the game. Incredible. I never thought a video game could have music until now. I guess we also learned the game has multiplayer.
I think probably because it's music from other games, so you can... Okay, I guess we're complaining about Pokopia, which everyone's been basically streaming and seemingly has been very, very fucking successful, and people have been really enjoying Pokopia. I don't know why the fuck this guy's complaining about that. Like, you can get music from other generations from discs that I think you can find or complete challenges for, and let the fucking Rotom play it. Like, that's the point. The game itself has its own fucking music. Like, why the fuck are we complaining about this?
Not that I care. I'm not playing this with anybody. Believe it or not, I will play this, and not just because of the YouTube channel. I won't say I'm excited, but I am intrigued because any Pokemon game not made by Game Freak at least has the chance of being good. And although people are calling this an Animal Crossing clone, what it really is a Dragon Quest Builders clone. It's even made by the same developers as those games, and they're fun. They're good games. So who knows? It might be a good time. I've always been a fan of spin-offs in general, so I want to support that idea. And if it turns out to be terrible, I'll be sure to let you know. But they conclude the presentation with the only thing anyone should care about, definitely the only thing I care about, which is the teaser to Gen 10. And unfortunately,
so I don't know what. Okay, so then if the only thing that you cared about was the teaser to Gen 10, why the fuck were you complaining about all the fucking mobile ads and all the other shit before then? Like, why were you bitching about all that other shit in the past? Like, again, you're just looking for an axe to grind. That's literally it.
We learn basically nothing. We get to see the starters, which are the new worst starters of all time, which is every starter announcement because they don't actually matter. You're only going to see your little guy for a little bit until it turns into some bipedal monster. Personally, I'm a big fan of the dog. I like dogs. Dogs are cute. The bird looks like a mobile game asset to me, like a rejected Angry Bird. And the gecko, yeah, you know, he's fine. I do admit that none of them really look like Pokemon to me, but then again, that's like basically everything. I've been saying this for years. They look more like they come from Pal World than they do Pokemon, but if their final evolutions are good, that's really all that matters. Not that we'll be able to see those forever because the game...
Okay, I don't understand what is the point about fucking bitching and complaining about this? No, it looks like Pal World assets. Oh no, it looks like Mobile World assets. Like, I don't understand. Like, what is the point of this fucking criticism? Like, I don't really know. I don't really care.
Doesn't come out till 2027, which would be good news because it means they're taking their time on the game and actually trying to make it good. The excuse has always been that Pokemon games are rushed. They're low effort, low budget, so now they're actually taking their time. It'll be 5 years between...
Well, it's not that it is an excuse. It's actually provable. Yeah, that has been a problem with Game Freak for a very long time because, again, we know that a lot of merchandising sales all specifically go mostly to Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, and Game Freak sees none of that fucking money. If we're talking about what makes the most money specifically for Pokemon, it is merchandising fucking sales, right? Those plushies sell a lot, and they sell very, very well, especially for the very, very popular Pokemon. Those things are always going to be fucking sold out, for example. And a lot of that money doesn't go to the company that develops the fucking games, right? Because again, they're meant to be vehicles in order to advertise the merchandising. Like, that's how it fucking works.
Generations, surely this one must be good. The problem is that's implying they're actually spending this time working on Gen 10, and we have no guarantee of that. According to the Pokemon leaks, they were working on Pokemon Legends ZA, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the next Legends game, and Pokemon Gen 10 all at the same time. And that's just the Pokemon games. We also know they're spending time working on their new Xbox game. So are they really putting in this time to make sure Gen 10 is a good, bug-free game? Or is it more time spent on the projects they actually care about, which is anything but Pokemon? And trust me...
How do you know that? Like, how can you make that fucking assertion? Like, that doesn't make it... That makes no fucking sense to me. Like, I don't understand. What is the point of bringing up this fucking point, right? Like, you don't know how many teams or how many developers are being dedicated to all of these projects at a particular moment in time. You don't know. You have no fucking idea. You don't know about budget allocations. You don't know about resource management. You don't know about supply management either. Now, here's the thing. Is there a point that can be had that there are a lot of giant game studios who are trying to get away with the least amount of possible development time and developers in order to be able to complete giant projects? Yes, absolutely. But it goes back to the main overall point, the main overall problem. It's an economics issue. It's a capitalism issue. It's a broader problem with the games industry in general issue. But you're never going to make any of those fucking criticisms of the executives who make those fucking decisions. You're just going to complain, bitch, and moan instead about why is the game not good? Oh, it's probably because it's woke or some shit. Okay, whatever, dude. I don't give a shit.
I want this game to be good more than anyone. I actually liked Scarlet and Violet, and if that game just had a little more effort, it would be an actually good game rather than a mediocre game that I happen...
Well, it's not... Okay, that's not the biggest problem with, like, Scarlet and Violet. I mean, is the story rather bare bones? Yes. Is the gameplay kind of bare bones? Sure, like, maybe, but that's because, again, what they were investing more effort into with Generation 9 was specifically the competitive aspect, which you were just shitting on earlier. So again, you can't be fucking satisfied with anything. They have their own official competitive format that they were supporting more and more, with a lot of the beneficial features such as like the ability to be able to buy competitive items for very, very fucking cheap, which is a thing that was created specifically in this game. Sure, grinding for money is very annoying, as always within Pokemon, but it's not that terrible. But that's just, again, Pokemon in a fucking nutshell. That's always been a problem consistently with the fucking goddamn games, right? Where grinding for resources takes a long time. It's a Japanese RPG. That's always been a fucking feature within Japanese RPGs. Like, you're just complaining about the, I don't know, like, main fundamental, I guess, like, DNA, I suppose, for lack of a better term, of Japanese fucking RPGs, which is that they are very, very often very tedious and very fucking grindy. That is what it fucking is. The biggest problem with, honestly, with Scarlet and Violet was that it was released on an unoptimized piece of hardware. That, of course, being the Switch 1, which was a not very well optimized, not very well performing piece of hardware. That's the biggest fucking issue in particular, right? Where there was a lot of bugs, performance issues, blah, 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 blah. Because the Switch 1 had a lot of fucking flaws.
To enjoy. I just have no reason to believe that this next game will be any different, because despite Scarlet and Violet being the most controversial game they've released, it sold incredibly well. So why do anything differently? The reason a company invests money into a product is because they'll get a return on investment. They'll make more money than what they put in. But why would they spend more money or more time, and more time is more money, if they won't get any more in return? Spend as little as possible on the game itself and spend as much as possible on advertising. That's what they're telling us. That's what they're...
Again, because that's how you get people to buy a game. You spend a bunch on fucking advertising. Again, you don't... It's the same point that Birdman brings up consistently over and over and over again. Like, when he does his debunking... God, I always forget the name of the series. But when he debunks grifters like this, specifically like media grifters who just put out a bunch of anti-woke fucking slop, all the time, they will always just talk about, I can't believe that this studio is spending so much on fucking advertisements and marketing. It's like, yeah, dipshit, how do you think they're going to get their message out, that their product is coming out to as many people as possible? They're going to spend a bunch on fucking advertising. The argument that these people always seemingly have is like, why do they spend so much on advertising? They could be spending more and more of that in order to be able to, put effort within their own fucking media. It's like, dog, it's called welcome to the economic system that we currently find ourselves under. You have to spend a ton in fucking marketing for people to, broadly speaking, have the message that, our product is coming out, here it is, because there's a lot of instances of movies and other media properties that don't spend as much in terms of marketing, and they end up, not performing as well within profit margins. So, a lot of companies that have tons of huge research departments have looked into this and said, we have to be able to get out our message on as many platforms and as many different forms of media as fucking possible in order to be able to have people take a look and, potentially try to fucking buy our goddamn games. Like, welcome to the current media environment that we find ourselves under. You have to be able to participate within social media. Tons of different fucking avenues to be able to do that. Of course, with like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. Tons of different avenues for that. And that takes a lot of time and resources and market research in order to be able to perfectly put together an advertisement to be able to put that out there. Because if it was a low quality advertisement, then you would bitch, moan, and complain about it being a low quality advertisement and be like, hey, this game now deserves to be fucking making no money. Blah. Which is why, part of me, I don't really understand why I'm fucking arguing against this point, because people like this simply exist just to be fucking angry and appeal to a bunch of people who can never be fucking satisfied with, literally anything. Pokemon is going to naturally sell well because everyone just likes the franchises and the sort of general game, which has a very, very rich tapestry as to why people, broadly speaking, will engage with this, medium. Again, I'm going to keep saying this, I guess, over and over and over again. You're just looking for an axe to grind, buddy.
saying is the most effective way to sell Pokemon, and how can I argue when it's clearly working? The only hope is that the developers of the game actually care about the product. But if every other Pokemon game is any evidence, they definitely stopped caring at some point, and I'm not sure what would have to happen to make them care again. I thought these guys were supposed to be Japanese. Don't they have any honor? Is it dishonorable to make a subpar product to do a...
What the fuck is this, like, what is the point of fucking bringing this up? Like, how, what? What kind of fucking cringe-ass bullshit is this? Didn't literally the CEO of Nintendo decide to fucking take a pay cut in order to be able to, well, as a byproduct of the Wii sales being really bad, or was it Wii? It was either the Wii U sales or Wii sales being really, really bad. The CEO of Nintendo decided to fucking take a pay cut because of that, because he didn't want to fire any of his workers, because he recognized, it's like, no, it's because our marketing campaign for the Wii was really fucking bad. That's a little interesting now, is it? Now, are you going to mention any of that fucking history? No, because more than likely, you don't know any of it because you're just putting out a bunch of fucking stupid dreck on the internet.
Bad job? Isn't having pride in your work a Japanese thing? Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just not the case anymore. At least the game looks nicer. It definitely has better graphics than Scarlet and Violet, and we're actually...
Yeah, because the hardware is way fucking better.
Getting to the point where I don't care anymore, where it's good enough for me. I've never been a graphics guy to begin with, but I still like nice things to look at, and Legends ZA and Scarlet Violet were bad enough that it was just ugly. And I know the trailer's being selective, they're only going to show the nicest looking environments, but ZA looked bad even in the trailers. Plus, there's a floating Pokeball in the trailer, so they're not being that selective. So it's finally nice to have a Pokemon...
I mean, that's always just been kind of a feature. Yeah, like, developers are going to tend to be kind of fucking lazy about a lot of stuff. That's just how it is, bro.
Game that looks nice. I mean, we could have had this a long time ago. If they'd be willing to spend a small pittance of their billions on hiring some artists, or maybe even outsource it. It'd be better than what we had, but better late than never.
No, dude, like, again, the reason why Scarlet and Violet looked terrible was because they were limited by the fucking hardware. Because sometimes, like, you're just gonna get fucked by hardware limits. That it just is what it is. Like, can you make the argument that, again, fucking Nintendo should have just made the Switch way, way better and not have kept it in the cycle for as long as they did? Abso-fucking-lutely. But then again, COVID happened. It caused massive disruptions within the fucking market. It's rather fucking complicated. A lot of research tends to go into all this stuff. COVID, again, was a huge fucking disrupting factor. It's just... It's one of those things where there are so many fucking complicated factors that this fucking dipshit is definitely not fucking considering.
Unfortunately, that's all there is to talk about with Gen 10. That's all we get to know. They revealed the starters and the graphics of the game. I guess we know Slugma will be in the game. That's cool. Wingull's there. But no gameplay information, no story, no characters. We didn't even get to see the new gimmick.
Very normal,
Not that the
I'll be
gimmick's
honest.
gonna be good. If the leaks are true, it's just going to be another, oh, your Pokemon's stronger now for no reason. They really haven't had a good idea since...
From what I understand, the gimmick is apparently going to be... Also, by the way, that's how every fucking gimmick works, but whatever, sure. Oh, Pokemon made stronger. Yeah, that's the point of the fucking game. Okay, whatever. From what I understand, and if it's true based off of the leaks, then this shit could be really fucking broken. And could be a boon for hyper offensive teams. Basically, if the Pokemon that is holding a specific item, it will revive at full HP if it goes down, and also get an Omni Boost, which is absolutely fucking insane if that is the case. So basically, like, depending on the Pokemon, so like the example I use is like you can use multi-scale Dragonite, right? Dragonite, it holds the item, right? You don't really, like, you're probably not going to go down in one hit because Dragonite has naturally good bulk and solid amount of resistances. It can easily come in, switch in, has good immunities, blah, 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 blah. It will probably survive the first hit, be able to get a Dragon Dance up, and since now it's faster than the thing that's in front of it, it'll get another Dragon Dance up, it'll die, come back with whatever amount of HP it comes back with. I don't know if it'll be 50% or full. That's another question, of course, because we don't know exactly how the mechanic works. And it'll also have an Omni Boost. It'll have 2 Dragon Dances under its belt and an Omni Boost. And good luck fucking taking that thing down after all of that. Guess, like, you're just gonna get swept. It's game fucking over. Like, you can't fucking do shit about that. That's just, like, one example that I immediately come up with off the top of my head, which could be really, really fucking broken, but we just don't have enough information based off of the leaks in order to be able to really tell for certain at the moment. There's been hints that people sort of discerned from like lettering that the leaks accounts have also said like this could be a potential hint at the mechanic, and here's how it potentially fucking works, but we don't really know 100% for certain because information's just not out there yet.
Megas, or lowland forms, if you count that as a gimmick. Since they're not really willing to show anything, it makes me think that 2027 is a late 2027, which may be for the best. I'm not ready to be disappointed.
That's pretty fucking normal, where it's been late in terms of the years for, well, the releases of Pokemon games. That's normal.
And yes, this is a real disappointed because I actually do think the game will be fun. I mean, it's just so easy. Making a Pokemon game that's good is apparently impossible, but making a Pokemon game that's fun is incredibly easy. It's just such a good formula. That's why it's so baffling that Pokemon Legends ZA is the worst game ever made. But there's still plenty
Then why are you fucking complaining? Okay, whatever.
ways they can mess it up. Maybe this will be the smallest Pokédex yet, where every island is populated with nothing but Rattata and Watchhog, and the oceans are filled with Magikarp and Phoebus. Actually, Phoebus is too cool, you'll get Basculin. That was probably Scarlet and Violet's biggest problem, that you would see the same Pokemon everywhere, which is an insane problem to have when there are...
You can go to travel to other parts of the game to get different Pokemon, and certain parts of the region are going to have different fucking themes based off of the construction of the environment. Okay, whatever. This dude does not understand what, I guess, basic fucking progression in terms of, like... Because you're not going to get the higher stats. You're not going to get, like, the pre-evolutions of pseudo-legendary Pokemon in the early game, in the early fucking areas. It's not how it fucking works. It's going to be more difficult to get those because they don't want you to be able to have your hands on those immediately unless you do, like, a specific gimmick in order to be able to get that. That's how... It's called progression in a fucking video game. Jesus Christ.
1,000 Pokemon, and they cannot make the excuse that it's new models and new animations because there's no way they're remaking them all again. We just had Scarlet and Violet, and we just had Pokemon Legends ZA. There is plenty to choose from. If this game has a low Pokemon variety, I'm going to lose my mind. I have no expectations for the new designs. They're always bad. They'll always be bad. All the good designers left or died. That or they just don't care anymore. As long as one of the...
How do you know that they're all just bad, bro? Like, again, like, oh, everything is just bad because, again, I have to have a gripe with something. Like, again, just gripes. Axe to grind. That's all you fucking care about. Look at me. I just have to be mad for the sake of being mad. It's like, okay, then, like, what's the point of any of your quote-unquote fucking criticism? It's boring. It's stupid. Just, like, literally say anything else.
Starters is good, that's good enough for me, and they've never managed to make 3 bad ones at one time. If I had to guess, they're definitely ruining the water type. They've just had the worst track record of all time. Inteleon and then Quaxacoatl Duck Guy back-to-back. That's insane. Those are the 2 worst...
It's called Quaquavel.
Designs of all time, one right after the other. This is intentional sabotage. They hate water types. Now I'm hoping.
Wait, hold on. Well, why do you think that's the fucking case? I'm a little curious. Why are you not going to speculate why exactly they're quote unquote the worst ones? I'm just, I feel like, if we're going to be honest here in terms of our fucking criticisms, you probably want to stipulate why. Like, what's so bad about Inteleon and Quaquaval, right? Quaquaval is a not mariachi dancer, a salsa dancer, right? Salsa dancer. It's a specific kind of duck within the region. Makes a lot of sense. And Inteleon is it's a lizard spy because it's in Britain. Spy, pew pew, haha, it's cool, blah blah blah, whatever. Like, it's a lot of Pokemon are going to take inspirations from, animals, generally speaking, and also cultural references in the region that it's supposed to refer to. Right? Like, that's how it fucking works, man. It's called artistic fucking direction.
I'm praying that this will be a Swampert, like maybe an Empoleon. Those are pretty cool. I don't think that's what we're going to get. Having mentioned those 2 Pokemon, I am now realizing that despite everyone complaining...
I really hope that they make the Gekwa's fucking final evolution as much of a flaming homosexual as possible, because I know it'll make this guy really fucking mad.
About the new starters all being bipedal. Starters have kind of always been bipedal, like all the way back to the beginning. Charizard, Blastoise, both bipedal. That's 2 out of 3. Typhlosion, Feraligatr, Swampert, Blaziken, and Sceptile, all 3 of them are bipedal. Infernape and Empoleon. I could keep going. The point is, the majority of starters have always been bipedal. I guess they're just getting a little more humanoid over time.
I will agree with this. I do think the bipedal stuff discourse, I think it's very stupid and fucking annoying, but I mean, yeah, welcome to anthropomorphization. Humans will, generally speaking, if there is a thing that they like, will make them into a form that they can easily relate, and that is, well, oh, humanoid, because we're human. That's how it works.
Charizard is definitely less humanoid than Incineroar. I don't know. Point is, anything video game related.
He's a wrestler, dude.
Disappointment. If you made it this far, you're legally obligated to subscribe. Pokemon.
I'm not going to subscribe to your fucking dog shit channel. Period. End of story. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, what is there to say in particular with all this shit? Like, I mean, it's stupid. This dude basically came in here with not really any criticisms whatsoever, basically with a fucking axe to grind, coming into this with a significant, like, lack of knowledge base in terms of the environment that he's looking to, quote-unquote, I suppose, criticize. Like, so as pretty much expected, and this is generally speaking why I do not tend to cover a lot of these anti-woke sort of, like, slop tubers, because it's very often all the exact same fucking bullshit. Constantly. The same fucking bullshit. Oh, look at thing that I don't like all that much. I'm going to bitch, moan, and fucking complain about it, because, again, it's very, very easy to basically make, like, very, very, like, I don't know, like, low IQ criticisms like, oh, I don't like the thing because it doesn't particularly appeal to me. Yeah, blah. Because this sort of, like, rage baity, sloppy content is really, really fucking easy to make. It's quick to make, and you can put it out constantly and churn it out really, really fucking goddamn easily if you just have, like, one or two other fucking people. And, oh, you can get a decent amount of fucking subscribers doing these exact same type of, like, slop sort of, like, rage bait fucking goddamn videos. Like, that's literally it, and that's the pretty much the main problems that I've always had with a lot of these, like, anti-woke sort of, like, slop tuber individuals. It's boring, it's uninteresting, and a lot of their points are just pretty much can come down to, bro, different strokes for different folks, and people like things because they like certain things. It's just how it fucking is, man. Like, death of fucking subjectivity constantly, you know, all the time. Oh, look at me complain on the internet and not understand how other people fucking think because I just simply refuse to just, I don't know, walk 2 fucking steps in their own shoes. Like, that's literally it. Death of subjectivity, as always, with these people. But anywho, I don't think there's really much else to say besides, there's a reason why I don't do these videos. It's because they're always incredibly fucking boring.